Welcome to this week's episode of Straighten Your Crown. Today we are going to be talking about planning for the future. So what does planning for the future look like? We can maybe touch on a little bit about what Empress Athleticus planning looks like. We do quite a bit of planning. So maybe B, did you want to start this one off? You love your planner.
No, I think you should totally start.
Oh, okay. All right, perfect. Awesome.
I'll talk to you guys in 12 minutes.
I think that's a really, I think we've started it really broad. So with planning, obviously there are tons of different things that need to be planned. But let's talk about being a business owner yourself. So you have employees or you're just by yourself, right? So there are going to be, what we were saying before, there's going to be important tasks and there are going to be urgent tasks. Mm-hmm. Explain.
Okay, so basically at the start of every week, you should be planning your week of basically outlining the things that are important. Mm-hmm. This week, to move the business forward, I must do the following important tasks. What often happens is that urgent things happen in a day. You know, somebody makes a complaint, somebody didn't get their order, I don't know, the thing breaks or whatever it is, and things become urgent, and what you do is spend most of the time putting out fires rather than completing these urgent tasks. Rather than completing the important tasks. And what happens, you get to the end of the week, you haven't moved the business forward in any way, you haven't completed any of the important tasks that you set out to achieve, and all you've done all week is put out fires. Yeah. So yeah, the difference between urgent and important tasks, it's really important that we get those done and make time to do those. Also, a lot of those urgent things, putting out fires, a lot of that, if you do have employees, can be delegated out.
Not even could, should. You shouldn't be doing anything that's urgent. And I've got a few clients.
Unless you're operating on your own, which we'll come back to that.
Yeah. So I do a little bit of business consulting on the side, just because, again, I could literally help businesses every day, all day. Hence why we've got Straighten Your Crown, because me and Kristy love helping people. Right. A thing that always comes to me is people always say, I feel so overwhelmed. I feel like all I'm doing is just doing. I'm not planning properly. I feel stressed. I don't know what to do. And my biggest thing is to go, one, do you have staff? They normally have like one or two, and I go, perfect. Write down every single thing that happens in your week that needs to happen. So it's just like, we have to do customer service. We need to answer the phone. We need to
reconcile the account.
Like all the things that just need to happen on a day to day. Yeah, they're not your tasks. They're not yours. As a business owner, you need to not focus on the day-to-day, and you need to be focusing on building the company to move it forward. The planning, the strategizing, the ordering, the things that are actually going to take that business to the next level, and is also going to make sure that there's enough work for next month and the month after, and vice versa. Now, in regards to the urgent task, it's about those small little fires. So the machine breaks. Yeah, you probably have to jump in to maybe fix the machine one or two times, but if it becomes an ongoing thing, teach a staff member to make sure that they can do that. You just have to optimize and be a good manager to make sure, and a good leader to make sure that your staff can actually handle that issue. We were talking prior to this chat in regards to what Madi does. So in regards to customer service stuff, if we get a complaint come through, obviously Madi knows how to handle that complaint to a certain level. If it gets outside of that scope, then she'll come to us and bring it and go, okay, what do I do next? But it's very rare for that to happen. One, we don't get very many complaints, and two, Madi can handle it quite well, and she is educated in regards to Empress to know, would Kristy and B be confident in the decision that I'm making? Yes, awesome, I'm going to make the decision. And we are confident in our staff to know that they're going to be able to make the decision best for the company. If you are by yourself, so say it's just you, there are still ways to optimize your fires. Urgent tasks. I call them fires, we call them urgent tasks. Streamline
and you still
stuff.
have to get to your important tasks as well. So if you're on your own, you still need to make time for those important tasks, because otherwise your business will never move forward, and you'll spend your whole time putting out fires, not strategizing, not planning. And that's why, unfortunately, 95% of businesses fail in the first 2 years.
It's hard work. It is hard work, but it's not if you do it smart, if that makes sense. So good way to optimize yourself and make sure that your urgent tasks are done as quickly as possible. Canned responses, fantastic. Have your canned responses in your email, so then that way the standard questions, you can just shoot off a canned response, change it slightly to accommodate the customer, but you shouldn't be writing the same email over and over again.
Frequently asked questions is another perfect example of questions. That. Write it once, send them off to frequently asked questions. Hopefully it will be dealt with in the frequently asked questions. If not, come back to those canned responses. If not, then it needs to be elevated.
Good one to do is to put a order response on your emails, so they get an email as soon as you email, says, hey, we'll get back to you in 1 to 2 working days, but there are frequently asked questions if this can help, and you always put a prompt in there too. Did your email get answered by a frequently asked questions? Reply yes if so. So then that way people can back and be like, oh yeah, I'm good. So you're not like coming back to them in 1 to 2 days and then answering question they already have an answer to. Other ones is looking at some apps. If you're an e-commerce space, there's tons of different apps out there that can help streamline you and optimize you in regards to sending out orders, in regards to so many things. If you
because if you have those apps, you don't have questions all of the time like, when is my order coming? Have you processed my order? Just like simple things like that. So those apps, yes, you pay by the month, but there's such trivial fees in comparison to the time. Like it might be, $10 a month or something like that. But your customers are getting an immediate response from you, and they get the immediate answer that they need.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about why it's important to do. Sorry, I've just
No, honestly.
Sorry, I did Maddie's voice. So let's talk about.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about.
You got to clap too.
So today we're going to talk about.
My hair's curly, I look gorgeous. So I thought the best one is service. So if we all forget, Kristy's a lawyer on the down low. So service, that's something that obviously you've had most experience in, 20 years being a lawyer, isn't it? So why is it important to do the important tasks? We were talking about this.
Yeah, we were talking about this. So, not everybody sells a product. We sell product with Empress Athleticus, but that's right, with the law firm, we're selling a service. So, effectively, with the service-based business in the law firm, I have a team that is, that operates, I suppose, under me. I don't like the hierarchy term like that, but yeah, I've got a team that supports me. One of the requirements that I have on me is to make sure that I constantly have clients coming in through the door, because otherwise I've got a team that ultimately, if I don't do my important tasks of making sure that I'm having those new clients come through or new customers come through, ultimately my team in a month from now will end up with nothing to do.
Yeah.
So, it's really important for me that I prioritize not those urgent fires that start every day, and they do. But yeah, those important things to make sure that everybody has work moving forward. And that obviously supports the business as well. So,
and I think that's important for all businesses too. So obviously service for sure. Like if you don't have a client come in, you're just not going to have work next month. But it's the same with all businesses. Like if we're not strategizing what we're doing this month, next month, the month after, like we've already organized what we're doing for Christmas. We've already organized, we've pre-planned what we're doing for January. Like we have to be super organized. So then that way, like obviously the plan will change. You can't say that it's not. Like even this month, I think I've changed our plan 3 times already this month, and we're like,
but if you have no plan in the first instance, you get nothing done.
Exactly.
It's like failing to write something down, is kind of planning to fail.
But it's really important to have a plan, not only for yourself, but it's also really important for your staff. And even if you work by yourself, you still have to have a plan. You still have to have one, because what are you working towards? What is your plan? And I think I ask that all the time.
Your plan can't be to make money.
No, it can't. Like, because you don't.
We're going to circle back to the why.
No, but even if your plan is to make money, how are you going to make that? How many posts are you going to do? How many videos are you going to do? What products are you going to sell? Like there is so much planning that is necessary towards business, and it's not hard. But as the owner of the business, that's your job. That's what you got to do. You have to have a proper plan for not only yourself, but also your employees. And then that plan is what's going to be pushed out throughout the week, then throughout the month, and vice versa. We have a beginning of the month meeting where we talk about what our plan is for the overall month. We talk about targets, we talk about output, we talk about all that jazz. We also go over if anybody needs to have days off for the month, anything like that. And then we also then every week have a quick 10-minute meeting at the beginning of the day on a Monday going, all right, this is a recap of what we're going to be doing this week. Everybody think this is achievable. Someone goes, actually, no, I'm not going to be here. I need to have a day off today. Not today. That's me. They're coming, I'm having today off. Bye. I really need to have a day off on Friday. I need to take my grandma to the hospital or whatever it is. We have those team meetings and we have those discussions together, and we change the plan accordingly. So yeah, plans are super important. I can't stress that enough. And that should be your number one thing. Like, I feel so stressed if I don't have a plan.
And if we don't know what's happening.
Yeah, even if it's not even if it's a basic bitch plan. Like, even if it's like super basic of just like, we need to get to here because of this, and we need to do this because of this. Like, I just need to have something, and I need to be able to push that to you guys too, to be like, is everybody on the same page? I think with having business partners, it's made it really clear that we definitely need plans, because I need to get whatever's out of here onto a plan. Kristy needs to get whatever's out of here onto a plan. So we're all on the same page at all times.
It's also nice as the employee to have that plan as well, where it's like, okay, they know what they're doing, or they know what they're working towards, and now we can also work towards that goal. And so it just means that everybody in the whole team, no matter who they are or what their position is, we're all working towards that one goal. So it might be a target at the end of the month, it might be X amount of garments sewn, or it might be, you know, a launch that we've got, but everybody knows what they have to do. And then we can then get up every day to go to work knowing what's on the agenda for the day.
This week.
It's even perfect to hear that from you, because that's really important.
Well, we got into our new
We
space.
did pay her to say that.
Cha-ching, money in the bank. No, but we did, like, when we moved into our new space, we like walked in that first day and we're like, okay, let's everybody sit down. Like, we're here, we're ready to go. And this is now what we're working on for the month. And this is how much more we can do and how much more we can have because of the new space, blah, 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 whatever. But yeah, it was really nice that it wasn't just like, oh, what are we doing?
I feel like if you don't have a plan though, that's what you feel. Like, you kind of feel like you're in this weird limbo and everybody's just working towards nothing. And even here, like, we kind of felt like that, like working in the house, is that it was kind of this weird, like, when are we moving, what's happening here, and I don't like feeling like.
And it was also, for example, we've spoken about it before, but my role is quite diverse. So like, I finish doing one thing and then I have to go, oh, what else can I do? But now we know we've got a plan in place for the week or the month or whatever. So we can go, okay, well, I'm finished doing that. Those guys are busy over there. Maybe I can go in and I can put elastics through scrunchies and stuff like that. Like,
that's always important.
We always make sure that we've got like those secondary tasks that we can work towards.
I think that's a really good thing to come back to managing correctly. Is if your staff are constantly coming to you saying, what can I do now? It's not helpful for you, because when they actually ask you that question, it's always in the most time you're not ready for it. You're not ready for it.
You're completing one of your important tasks.
And if you don't have a proper plan, if you don't have a proper plan, it is hard to make sure that that staff member is going to be as optimized as possible for the day. But if we're all working towards the same goal, everybody has their own individual task, and they can take ownership of those tasks, which then makes them work harder, because they're like, yeah, this is my special task that I'm doing for the week. And then that way too, if someone actually goes to them, so Madi will go to Jade, for instance, and say, hey, I know you've got an epic amount of tasks this week. Do you want me to help? And she'll be like, yeah, I would love for you to help. Because then that way they're working together as a team. Everybody can help each other. It's just a really dynamic kind of composition that comes together at the end of the week.
And the team that we have is always working toward the same common goal, which is why they work so well together.
All right, well, I think we've kind of summed that one up, you guys.
Oh, actually, talking about planning though, just a start. So sorry.
Sorry, we didn't wrap it up. Brittany would like to talk some more.
So there's a fair few apps out there that are really, really good for planning. So organizational apps. I personally like Airtable because I can give it to everybody as just like the way that I like to see everything. So we can see it on a spreadsheet view, which Sam and James like to view it on. We can see it in a calendar view, which me and Kristy like to view it on.
It's color coordinated.
Exactly. So you just have a lot more options in regards to how you can present your plan. It's also really, really easy to add things in there. So we can link that one in, what did you call it before, the show?
It's the show notes. Have you never listened to a podcast before? Excuse you.
Yeah, she said it before and I was like,
it's really fancy,
but I've literally used every kind of planning app: Asana, Monday, Airtable. Oh my god, I can literally list all the ones. I've pretty much used them all. And Airtable is the one that I personally love the most, especially for a marketing standpoint as well, because I can have tons of different boards going on for production, for everything, and I love it. I love planning. And it's just easier. It's easier too because I can just move things around. Like if
I change something from Wednesday, we're not doing that now, we're going to launch on Friday, then you just pick it up and move it along.
I think the other day I did the plan for the month. It took me an hour, maybe half an hour. I sent it to you guys. You were like, yep, tap, like, you good. Kristy's like, oh, maybe we could do this. And I just moved a few things, sent it back in 10 minutes, done. Plan's done for the month. And I think that's a big thing too. Like, people need to stop being so in love with the plan, because that's just going to cause you stress. If you need that plan to go 100% smooth at all times, you're going to be disappointed, because things are going to change. You need to be nimble. Like, I think literally yesterday, Sam came in and he's like, how are you going? And I'm like, you were in the car talking to James, and it was literally like, we've ran out of thread. The machine just broke. It's going to take 2 weeks to get apart. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how to do this. But I'm going to work it out. I'm going to ask James, and then we'll work it out. And then literally, like, half an hour later, James sends an email going, we fixed it. We're back on plan.
We have the machine part.
Yeah, and then Kristy runs me down the machine part. Yeah, we're back on plan. But you just have to be nimble and be okay that things are going to change, and just work towards them. Like, obviously you can fix them, but sometimes you can't, and you got to just move forward.
I think
not get lost in it.
Lucky that there's 4 of us that when something like that happens, the 4 of us do drop everything.
It is really nice to be able to go brain dump, and then you just go, oh, I can help. It is really good. All right, I'm good now. I'm done.
Okay,
Sorry,
we're
I'm
done.
done.
Oh, she's finished. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for joining us this week for Straighten Your Crown. We will see you on the next one.
Bye.